In the heart of Kentucky's bluegrass country lies a place where legends are born. Claiborne Farm, more than a century of history, heritage, and horsemanship. From the great Secretariat to countless champions, these pastures have been the cradle of racing royalty. And today, its gates are open to you as we share our own experience on one of their amazing guided tours. Watch as we walk the same ground as champions, hear the stories behind the stallions, and see history come alive in every barn and paddock. Here, tradition isn't just preserved, it's shared. This is Claiborne Farm. Well, we are here at Claiborne Farm. We were looking for some horse type stuff to do in Kentucky while we're here. And we figured out that this is where Secretariat retired and is buried. And so we decided we'd come visit. And we watched the movie Secretariat last night so that the boys would have an idea more of like what exactly we're seeing. So it should be fun. Claiborne Farm offers guided tours 7 days a week at a cost of $20 for adults and $11 for children 12 and under. The tour starts at the Visitor Center, which has a gift shop where you can purchase a variety of horse racing apparel and memorabilia.
To kind of walk you through our breeding process, when mares arrive for their breeding appointment, they'll be brought in typically on truck and trailer. We'll have them parked down here in this lower lot where we see this white truck. One at a time, we'll have the mare brought up to the barn. Around the back of the barn is where we'll prep the mare for breeding. The first thing that we're going to do with the mare is we're going to place her into a stall adjacent to where we house our teaser stallion. Our teaser stallion and the mare will interact with each other through a screen window. We're just trying to see how that mare is going to act when she's presented to a stallion, seeing if she's acting like she's ready for breeding. Typically, when the mares are ready for breeding, they'll do what we call show to the teaser. They'll raise their tail and begin to urinate. That's something good that we're looking for from the mare. After the mare's been teased, we'll wrap her tail with a brown roll gauze. We'll wash her hind end up with iodine soap and rinse. And then after she's ready, we'll bring the mare through this gate here. She's going to come into the shed. We're going to take the mare. We're going to face her to this wall to the left with one person holding her. There is a person who's positioned on each side of the mare, just kind of assisting and holding the mare steady and getting her tail, while a fourth person handles the stallion. The stallions are all excellent breeding horses. Most of our stallions can get a mare bred in about 10 to 15 seconds. After the mare's been bred, she'll head back onto the truck and she'll head back home. So from start to finish, she's probably only here for about 10 to 15 minutes.
In the quiet of the foaling barn, mares give birth to the next generation of champions. Here, all breedings are done the traditional way, live cover, never artificial insemination, preserving the time-honored practices of the thoroughbred industry. And while we didn't witness a foal's first steps today, our tour brought us somewhere just as special, the Stallion Barn, where our tour guide John introduced us to one of Claiborne's magnificent sires.
So this guy here is actually a horse we've already talked about a little bit already. This is War of Will, and War of Will is 9 years old. He is a son of our top stallion, Warfront, out of a mare named Visions of Clarity. War of Will had an 18-race career, racing from 2018 through 2020, from his 2-year-old to his 4-year-old season. He was a 2-time Grade 1 stakes winner. He won 5 races total with 9 top 3 finishes and earnings of over $1.8 million. His 2 Grade 1 wins. As a 3-year-old in 2019, he won the middle leg of the Triple Crown. He was the Preakness Stakes winner.
Owendale is storming down the center of the track, but it's War of Will coming down to the 16th pole in front. In front by 2 lengths late. A late charge from Lone Shot Everfast on the inside 2, but nothing stood in his way. War of Will won the Preakness.
And then in 2020, As a 4-year-old, he was grade 1 winner at Keeneland on the grass, winning a race called the Maker's Mark Mile. So he's a dual surface grade 1 winner. He's an excellent physical. He's an extremely well-bred horse, so he's what breeders would say he checks all the boxes. He's currently standing at a $15,000 stud fee, and his first crop of foals are just 3-year-olds. So they're just getting started on the racetrack with 2 crops of racing age at this time, 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. But this guy was brought into the barn this morning about 6 o'clock. He's groomed and fed. Then he hangs out in the barn throughout the earlier part of the day. That way we got him up accessible for any visitors or any kind of work we might need to do with him. This afternoon, about 1:30, we're going to go ahead and put them back outside, and they're going to stay outside till tomorrow morning. So they're outside for probably, depending on their breeding schedules, 15 to 17 hours a day.
There's something magical about standing beside War of Will. This isn't just any horse. He's a Preakness champion, a winner on both dirt and turf, a living piece of racing history. Feeding him peppermint candies and stroking his soft fur was a moment we'll never forget. Next on our tour, a stop at one of the most famous stalls in racing history. This was Secretariat's home, the Triple Crown legend who captured hearts around the world. Standing in front of the gold nameplate, it's easy to picture the roar of the crowd and that unforgettable run in the 1973 Belmont Stakes.
18 of the horses that competed in this year's Kentucky Derby were descendants of Secretariats. 18 of the 20 last year were descendants of Secretariats, and in the 2021 Kentucky Derby, 18 of the 20 entered in that race were descendants of Secretariats.
Today, this historic stall is home to another star, the lightning-fast sprinter Runhappy, keeping the legacy of greatness very much alive. Runhappy burst onto the scene as a stunning 2015 champion sprinter, winning 6 straight races, including the Grade 1 King's Bishop Stakes, Breeders' Cup Sprint, and Malibu Stakes, and earning Eclipse Champion Sprint Horse honors. After a short but spectacular career, he retired to stud at Claiborne Farm with a debut fee of $25,000. His owner, Jim Mackingvale, was given an offer he couldn't refuse. Runhappy would retire in Secretariat's iconic stall. Since entering stud, Runhappy has sired over 550 foals, with his progeny earning more than $27.5 million. Runhappy's legacy is not just his own victories, but in the champions his bloodline continues to produce.
So, for the miss, he's usually pretty good. If you put your hand up to the mouth, he'll just try to, grab a mint. If you try to pet him, he wants to chase your hand and bite at it. So this is kind of what he'll do if you try to pet him. So that's just kind of who he is. But Runhappy is owned by a syndicate, just like most of our stallions. During his days on the racetrack, he was owned by a Houston, Texas businessman. We'll try another one. He was owned by a Houston, Texas businessman, a guy named James Mackingvale. Mr. Mackingvale's got furniture stores down there in the Houston area, and they actually call him Mattress Mac.
Though we only got to see his head over the top of the stall door as he was begging for a treat, I figured I'd give you a little bit of info on Prince of Monaco.
But I'm going to give this guy a mint just because he's getting all fussy.
Prince of Monaco is one of Claiborne's newest syndicated stallions, retiring to the farm as a 3-year-old in early 2025 after making history as the only 2-year-old to win a Grade 1 race. His current stud fee is $30,000. Stepping out from the interior of the stallion barn, we emerged into the sunlight and rounded the corner where the iconic white and yellow trim of Claiborne Farm came into view. As we gathered around one of the stall doors, we were introduced to a living legend who was once tied for the highest stud fee at $250,000.
Right here. So Warfront started studying. The reason he's biting, he wants to mint. He's ready to mint. That's what he's wound up. So Warfront started studying out here in 2007 at the age of 5. His initial stud fee was just $12,500. He had a breeding fee between $10,000 and $15,000 Through 2011, it was putting at 2 crops of racing age, and they were running exceptionally well, so they started to sell exceptionally well, and that's what drove that stud fee up. This guy's stud fee from 2014 to last year's breeding season was in the $100,000 to $250,000 range. He actually stood 4 breeding seasons in a row. 2017 through 2020 had a $250,000 stud fee. In 2017, had 2 shareholders sold their shares for $2 million, so we were estimating his value of about $70 million at that point.
So what percentage go of the stud fees goes to the syndicate versus the farm?
There's money paid there through the syndicate. I don't really know all the particulars. That's a little bit above my pay grade, but in the 4th generation on the other side, you're okay, or further out.
Warfront has sired over 1,100 foals, which have collectively earned over $108 million across the globe. As their victories mounted, Warfront's value skyrocketed, cementing his reputation as one of North America's most influential sires.
So my name's John Niehaus, and I've been grooming Warfront for about 12 and a half years now. Started grooming him in April of the 2009 breeding season, been with him ever since. You know, real straightforward, he's smart, he's got a lot of class. Every day is the same with him. He's really consistent in his behavior. You know, all these stallions can kind of have a dominant personality, strong personality, but he's pretty good day in and day out. He's on the same routine as all the stallions, and he's just a really easy horse to get around, so he don't really require any kind of, you know, he gets the best treatment, but nothing really special. All these guys are very confident in themselves and kind of know there's something. Warfront a little more so, I think. Now that he's reached an elite status as a stallion, he gets shown off to a lot more breeders, and we also bring him out for our public tours so the visitors get to see him, come up and pet on him a little bit, feed him some treats, so he kind of knows he's a little bit special.
The final stallion we met on our tour was the 2010 winner of the Breeders' Cup Classic, Blame. In 2006, Blame was born right here at Claiborne Farm and had an impressive career, winning 9 of 13 starts and earning over $4.3 million. In 2010 alone, he captured 3 Grade 1 races, earning him the Eclipse Award as Champion Older Male Horse. Following his triumphs, Blame was retired at the end of 2010 and returned to his birthplace to begin his stud career. Here at Claiborne Farm, he continues to uphold his legacy, siring numerous graded stakes winners and cementing his place among the farm's most revered stallions. Finally, we visited the cemetery, where some of the greatest thoroughbreds in history are laid to rest. Names like Bold Ruler, Swale, Round Table, and Mr. Prospector. And of course, there's Secretariat, arguably the most famous racehorse of all time. His power, beauty, and sheer dominance captured the world's imagination, earning him a place not just in racing history, but in American culture. Half a century later, no horse has matched his times, and none have matched the legend of Big Red. From April through October, Claiborne Farm also offers shuttle tours, giving guests the chance to see all 3,000 acres of this legendary farm. For a cost of $30, visitors on this tour get exclusive access to the Broadmare and Foaling division. And who doesn't want to see an adorable foal with their beautiful mother frolicking in the fields? Our visit to Claiborne Farm was more than just a tour. It was a walk through over a century of thoroughbred history, from the breeding shed to the legendary stallion barn and the pastures where champions still graze. Every stop told a story of tradition, care, and excellence. We stood in the shadow of Secretariat stall, met world-class sires like Warfront and Runhappy, and discovered how Claiborne continues to shape the sport with each new generation. For just a couple hours, we were able to step inside a world where racing's greatest legacies live on, and where the future of the thoroughbred is still being written. Claiborne Farm isn't just a place you visit, it's an experience you'll never forget.